Hello and welcome to Huddersfield Town's post-match show in association with Sportsbroker after a very disappointing 3-0 defeat to Preston North End. To talk us through what went wrong, I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Huddersfield Town legend Andy Booth and former Huddersfield Examiner sports writer Mel Booth. You okay?
Yeah, fine, Adam. Thank you.
Yeah, great, Adam. Thank you.
Excellent. Boothy, I'll start with you. Ultimately, a really disappointing result.
Yeah, another disappointing result, isn't it?
Yeah.
3-0. We've all come away deflated again. But looking back, first half, I thought we played quite well. I'm going to be trying to be positive. And the first half, we were the better side. The goal again came against the run of play. We had 2 or 3 great chances. And don't get me started with that penalty decision, because I'm sure we'll come on to that. So the first
we will.
The first half were really good, and then second half were a non-event, wanted it just exactly what Preston wanted. They killed the game off. They were professional, wasted a little bit of time. Ref didn't help us at all, and then 2 killer blows, and the third one a good finish. But we're attacking, and we can't afford to keep conceding goals like this, or we are going to keep losing.
That makes it all the more frustrating, Mel, doesn't it? Like Boothie said, the first half, there were positives to draw. We were dominating the game. We conceded a sloppy goal, but ultimately we looked like the Huddersfield Town of old, and then we come out in the second half and you just don't really get going.
Yeah, I mean, it's become a bit of a recurring theme, unfortunately, starting games very well, scoring on occasions and taking control of the game. But on this occasion, we didn't score. But, you know, as soon as Preston scored, obviously it deflates everybody, and they couldn't quite carry it through. And the disappointing thing for me was that in the second half, even though there were some changes and there were a few positive points, I thought Sanogo looked okay. I'm sure we'll come on to that when he came on. I thought Kieran Phillips did well too. But we didn't really look like scoring. We didn't put the keeper under that much pressure to make saves. And that's something that we've really got to address. I think if you take the Swansea game out of it, I think we've scored 7 in 11 if you discount the Swansea game. And at the same period, I think we've conceded 19. So those are not good stats at this stage of the season. When we won 1 in 12 or something. So there are good, as I said, recurring theme, and an odd little decision. Boothie's already mentioned it, that doesn't go against you. I mean, that penalty would have made a world of difference, and I can't see how it's not a penalty. The Preston defender, I think it was used, knew exactly what he was doing, and then you stick your hands up like this, as though you've not meant to bring him down, and it just looks like a tangle, and the referee doesn't give it. And you look, I think there was a chance just after that as well, a really good move where Lewis had a save off him, and that was a cracking move, and a goal there would have made a world of difference. But then Preston, of course, go up the other end and get their noses in front, undeservedly at the time. And then that leaves you chasing the game a little bit.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. The potential penalty that to be fair, we probably should have been given, Boothie. I mean, Fraser Campbell does everything right there, doesn't he? His movement's great in the box. He slipped in, he goes across the defender and gets clipped.
I think them words were wrong, Adam. Potential and should have. It was, and I will listen. Obviously, we listened to Dave and Dean Whited on it, and they were waiting for the replay. And I'm not being funny. Everybody in that ground, everybody watching, could see it was a definite penalty. As you said, it was a great ball with Mbenji who put it the wrong side of the defender. And Fraser's done everything right as a forward. He gets in front of his defender. And the defender, there's nothing else he can do is bring him down. Fraser had the control of the ball. It wasn't as though the ball had run away from him. So God knows what the referee saw and were thinking. There were another few, like I mentioned, a few other disappointing decisions. But that's a massive in that stage of the game. We were on top, I know we've only had 2 penalties this season, missed them both. We might have missed it, I know that. But you get the chance to go ahead there. And again, confidence breeds. You get one goal. No, we've done it a few times, like Mel said, over the weeks. But I thought where we're playing that first half, we were dominating them. I thought the system was perfect. I thought we got Carlos got it spot on. And you get a goal then at that time in the game, and you keep it tight till half time. You're going 1-0, heads are high, and you don't get it. You get frustrated, and then they go the other end of the pitch and get a sloppy goal. Naby were unlucky that he didn't claim it, and that's a massive decision. And sometimes, and I'll win my son, and he was said, "That's why we need VAR, Dad." And I said, "No, we don't need VAR. That's something I'll never ever agree with." But he had a point, because I'd like to see what the referee's excuse was for not giving it, and it's a massive decision. And when you're down there, we're not having much luck at the minute as well. They go against you, and it's disappointing. Then we might come on to it again, but Carlos at half time, I can't understand why he changed the system. I thought it was working, and I know if we'd have come out second half changing the system and it worked, we'd have all been saying what a great decision. But when it doesn't, I think Carlos has got to hold his hand up a little bit and say maybe he made a mistake. I think sometimes managers have it in their head that Aaron Rose done ever so well for the last 3 or 4 games. He's probably thought, does he need? Probably bring him out of the team, give him a little bit of a rest, but sometimes keep playing him. If he's tired after 50, 60 minutes, then bring him off. So I think he had him in his head that he should have started with him, but he didn't. So right, I'll bring him on at half time or in 50th, 60th minute. And I think he's gone in and thought, let's bring Aaron Moore on. And no respect to Aaron, but it just changed the system, and it just didn't work for us. So disappointed on that thing, but going back, unbelievable decision for the ref not to give the penalty.
Yeah, and there was a second penalty appeal that wasn't protested as much, Mel. Shortly after, Lewis O'Brien seemed to be barged off the ball, chasing down a back pass. You don't really see those given, but equally when you see a replay and you see how it's been kind of slowed down, there wasn't really any intention of playing the ball, or the ball wasn't even near him, to be fair.
No, I mean he was exactly. I mean he was just intent on blocking him off, and he's actually just flattened him. And when you look at it in isolation and look back at it, you think, well, how can that not be an offence? And I think the referee, as Boothie's alluded to there were quite a lot of decisions. One just before half time, when Isaac Mbenza basically has virtually his head pulled off by Potts, and it's right in front of the linesman as well, and nothing is given. I thought, in the first half, I take the point what Boothie said. I was disappointed that Aaron wasn't in the starting lineup the way that he'd been playing, but you go with that. I was then disappointed that Dwayne went off, because I thought in the first half he'd been making some very positive moves, those little sort of nudges in behind their line, and Pippa and Lewis O'Brien were sort of seemed to be linking well, and there looked to be opportunities there. And I was a bit sorry to see Dwayne go off at the time that he did, even though we did need movement. We needed more movement up front in that final third, in and around the box, so that we could create opportunities. And in that regard, I was really pleased to see Kieran Phillips come on. But as I said right at the beginning, I don't think throughout the second half we've really put enough pressure on the Preston keeper, and that was a disappointing thing, the way things have been going for us.
Yeah, it was the first goal ultimately that changed the game, and it can change a lot of mindsets as well, Boothie. I mean, ultimately there was a lot of unfortune about that goal as well. When you have a kind of kick in the teeth, when a couple of decisions go against you, it's even more of a kick in the teeth when the ball just creeps over the line, when it looks like Naby Sarr's done a great job and a great positional play as well to try and stop the rebound.
Yeah, and I can't remember where the ball came from, but it seemed to when Ched Evans or Scott Sinclair who went Scott Sinclair, and Ryan made a great save, came out and pulled a great save off. Too easy for me to get through his midfield and defence, but Ryan came and another great save from Ryan. And then, like you say, yeah, Naby's gone like an instinct from defenders, get on the line just to cover it, and he'd done everything, and just one of those things he just missed. It just went under his foot, didn't it? It's just one of those things. 99%, he'd have cleared it, and he just lost his balance. It trickled in. So yeah, unfortunately that, and it is a killer blow. And like we were talking about the penalty, then like we said, they go up the field, score. You go in half time 1-0, and you look back and think, hang on, we've played well. Like Mel said, I think we've had 3 or 4 good chances, got in some good positions, and apart from the goal, you couldn't. I don't think Preston had another shot. So you go in and you think, well, I can't do any more. But 1-0 down, and that gives Preston a lift. They're thinking they've not played right well. We come out better second half. Then it gives it confidence again. I always talk about confidence, but decisions and goals change games, and it's all a mental game. And you sat in there at half time. Preston will be relieved, full of confidence, knowing they can come out. We'll be deflated, thinking, hang on, can't do any more than we've done. We haven't scored. We're going in 1-0 down. How do we step up again? So it was a big moment in the game. You look back, yeah, and then the second one kills the game off. But that first goal is so important.
Yeah, the second half, we've touched upon it a little bit already, Mel, but both of their goals were ultimately too easy defensively. They were able to pick the defence apart and then have way too much room in dangerous areas.
Yeah, I mean, Boothie used that phrase about the first goal, and he's absolutely right. The second one, Isaac's got to do better, but once the ball's been given away, it was just too easy for him to thread the ball through. Potts had got too much space on the left, and when he pulls it back, I mean, they get lucky again, really, because it got deflected in off Naby. But it was too easy. And likewise, for the third goal, it's a great. I mean, Barkhausen seems to do it every time we play Preston. He seems to do something against us, and it influences the game one way or another. And you've got to credit the lad. That was a fantastic ball in with the outside of his boot to Sinclair at the back post, and he's got 9 goals for the season, and he personally is flying. And these guys, they have got some quality in there, and it was just a shame. As I say, there were promising bits. I thought Aaron Rowe started the second half quite well, and I thought when Kieran Phillips came on, he gave us a little bit of. I think he was trying to do too much. He has been in good goal scoring form and good chance creating form in the B team, and he's been showing little bits of cameos in the first team, and he's a really promising player. I've always liked the look of him. I think he just needs a run of fitness and a run of minutes in the first team, and I think Town will see the benefit from that. And I thought the same from Sanogo. I'm glad that he's got an immediate opportunity, because we need someone to make an impact. There's no point waiting until another half dozen games have gone. We need someone in there who can do something now. And I was pleased to see him involved today, just after a couple of days training. So ultimately, obviously, very disappointing result. And it all gets a little bit too close for comfort down there. We haven't changed positionally, and we're still 6 points clear of the drop zone. But obviously, Rotherham have got games in hand. Wednesday have got a game in hand on us. We need to make the most of these 2 games that are upcoming now. We've got 2 games in 4 days, both at home, and some points on the board would be very welcome indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Boothie, Mel touched upon him there, but Yaya Sanogo came on to make his debut, and to be fair, he was probably one of the positives, or maybe even the only positive of that second half. I'm sure he reminded you of yourself back in the day.
That's very good. Yeah, what his speed. He went to the corners, and I'm sure that's what you meant. Yeah, you're right. It was a positive coming on, and I think he won practically everything in the air when we put him up there. And he looks a big, strong lad. What would disappointed me was when you're putting the ball up there, you've got to get people round. You've got to gamble. You've got to gamble on the flicks. And if you don't, you're one goal behind. And if you don't win it, then your midfielder, you've got to get close to him to pick him up. You know, he's a big lad, so he's going to cause trouble. The defender's not going to get a proper full header on it, so get people round him. And like Mel said, I'm glad he got a chance, because I heard it's probably the first game might be at Cardiff when we see him. For me, I'd stick him in on Tuesday. The only way you get match fitness is by playing matches. You can do all the running. You can run on the training ground. You could do laps of John Smith Stadium, whatever. But until you get on that pitch, you'll never get your match fitness. So there he's got, 15, 20 minutes under his belt. I'd throw him in on Tuesday, give him 50, 60 minutes. And if he's absolute blowing even after 45 minutes, then bring him off. But at least he's getting his fitness where we want him to be. And if we play him, I think, and you might call me old school, you've got to play somebody up front with him. Go to the 4-4-2. If he's winning out, if he's going to win flick-ons and make it hard for the defenders, get somebody around him, get Fraser around him, or Kieran Phillips, or Dwayne, or whoever, and play off him, play a little bit different. Yeah, I know Carlos's philosophy will be still playing out of the back, but if Ryan hits a few long balls and go more direct, just change it up a little bit. He can do it. And we've got to look at a positive signing there, because he's something different than what we've got, and he's the one who can win the flick-ons, make it hard for defenders, make it a little bit ugly. And you didn't see it today, but I'm sure he'll have pace as well. And so for me, get him in on Tuesday and work on his match fitness in a match.
I think Boothie's spot on there, Adam. I think you've got to look to change things up one way or another. And he's another option for us. He's something different in the front line. He's got some pedigree. You know, you don't play for Arsenal and you don't play for the France sides that he's played for without having some quality. So you've got, get him in there, make an impact in the Championship. That's what the fans want to see. And like Boothie says, you've got to have those options alongside him. I think Kieran Phillips deserves a run. I think he's the sort of lad who is at that point in his career now where he could really, make an impact. So we've got those extra two options up there. Nobody's having a go at Fraser. Fraser's got great experience. He runs his heart out for the team. But we need to up that goal-scoring threat, because simply the stats just don't add up. So we've got to do something, whether it's getting the ball in more and having a couple of lads in there like Boothie suggested. We've got to do more to put the ball in the net.
Yeah, and just finally... Oh, sorry, Boothie.
No, I was just going to say, on Fraser, even just resting him, pulling him out of the game, he's played a hell of a lot of games this season up there by himself, and he's put in a lot of hard work, and he's not getting any younger in Fraser. So even pulling him off for 2 or 3 games, put him on the bench, and obviously we can use him as an impact player in the last 20 minutes. But I think poor Fraser does need a bit of a break. I think he's shouldered a lot of responsibility up there by himself. So you've got a chance now to maybe, like you said, Mel, give Kieran Phillips a chance, because with Sudoku up there and Phillips with his pace, it could be two completely different what we've not had all season.
Yeah, I was going to say, just finally, Mel, there's no shying away from it. It's a really difficult patch for the football club. 1 win this year, no away win in 12. Where do we go from here, and how big do you think the game is against Birmingham on Tuesday evening?
It's huge, but it's the only thing you can focus on. Fortunately, there won't be too much time to dwell on what's happened today. They've got to get out there on the training ground straight away and prepare for a match on Tuesday night. The good thing is that you get the opportunity to put this behind you. What started out as looking like an excellent week, obviously we've had 2 big setbacks. And, the nearer you get to, and the more compact it becomes down at the bottom of the table there, the more important the games go. People use must-win games. It isn't that, because the the table and the points and the mathematics tell you that it's not. But we need a lift. The fans need a lift. And so it's important that the team go out there on Tuesday night and perform, and hopefully back it up against Cardiff on the Friday night as well. So it is a big week for Huddersfield Town in terms of how everything looks down there in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Mel, Boothie, thank you very much for joining us, and Town fans, thank you for watching.